So, have you ever had that thought, okay, this is the year. This is the year I'm finally going to read the entire Bible. It's a massive goal, I get it, but it really doesn't have to be overwhelming. Today, we're going to break down a simple guide to make that journey not just something you can actually do, but something you'll genuinely enjoy.
I mean, it's a classic New Year's resolution, right? It's right up there with joining a gym. But let's be real for a second. The sheer size of the Bible can feel, well, a little intimidating. If you've ever started strong in January, only to have that ambition kind of fizzle out by February, trust me, you are in very good company.
And that is exactly why we're talking about this today. We want to cut through all that complexity and show you a really clear, super manageable path forward. The goal here isn't just to check off a box on a to-do list. It's about turning this challenge into a daily habit that actually brings you life. So let's make it simple.
So how in the world do we do it? Well, we've boiled it all down into a simple 3-step roadmap. You can think of it like this. First, you get your gear ready for the journey. Second, you learn the best way to actually travel. And third, you make sure you've got the right mindset for the long road ahead. And here they are: the setup, the method, and the mindset. If you can get these 3 things dialed in, consistency starts to feel totally natural instead of like a chore. So let's dive right into step 1, the setup.
The setup is all about creating the right space for this to happen. First, set a fixed time. Maybe it's that quiet moment in the morning before the day gets totally crazy, or maybe it's the last thing you do at night to wind down. The key is just making it a habit. Then, before you even open the book, a simple prayer can do wonders to focus your heart and your mind. And hey, here's a pro tip. Try to stick with one single translation for the whole year. It makes a huge difference for clarity and flow.
And get this, we're not talking about a massive chunk of your day here. It really only takes about 20 to 30 minutes. That's it. I mean, think about it. That's probably less time than it takes to watch one episode of that show you're binging. When you put it like that, it suddenly feels really, really doable, doesn't it?
Okay, let's move on to step 2, the method. This is the real how-to part. It is absolutely crucial to follow a structured plan so you're not just flipping through pages wondering where to go next. And remember, this is not a race. Reading slowly so you can actually understand what you're reading is so much more valuable than just speeding to the finish line. We'll get to notes in just a sec. But also, and this is important, give yourself some grace. On those super busy days, an audio Bible is your best friend. Listening absolutely counts.
Now, when you hear take notes, your brain might immediately picture writing a 5-page essay. No. Let's make this way simpler. All you have to do is jot down 3 quick things. One verse that really stood out to you, one main lesson or big idea you took away from it, and one simple personal prayer that came to mind while you were reading. That's it. This little habit makes a huge difference in what you actually remember.
Okay, listen up, because this might be the single most important piece of advice you'll hear. You are going to miss a day. It happens to literally everyone. The secret is not to let guilt completely derail you. Don't fall into the trap of trying to catch up by reading 3 days' worth at once. Just pick up with today's reading and keep moving. This whole journey is about progress, not perfection.
And finally, we have step 3, the mindset. This is the part that turns your reading from just a task into a real transformation. As you're reading each day, ask yourself this one simple question. What's one truth here that I can actually apply to my life today? And as you travel all the way from Genesis to Revelation, keep an eye out for that golden thread that ties the whole story together, the message of God's love and redemption.
All right, so we've covered the setup, the method, and the mindset. Now let's look at the tool that brings it all together, the actual daily reading plan. Think of this as your concrete step-by-step map that's going to guide you through the whole year.
Here's just a quick peek at what your first few days in January could look like. You see the structure here? In the morning, you get a psalm and a little bit of the Old Testament story. And then in the evening, you jump into the New Testament. This isn't just a random checklist, it's a really balanced approach that's designed to give you the full picture. Following a plan just like this is exactly how you build a habit that sticks. So, before we wrap up, let's talk about a couple of final keys to make sure this habit lasts for the entire year.
You know, the reason a plan like this works so well is that it gives you a balanced spiritual diet. You're getting the epic history and promises from the Old Testament, you're getting the life and teachings of Jesus in the New Testament, and you get that daily dose of wisdom and prayer from the Psalms and Proverbs. That variety is what keeps things fresh and helps you grow in different ways, all at the same time.
So, let's say you do it. You stick with this for a whole year. What's the payoff? What's the big reward at the end? Let's just fast forward to December 2026 for a second and imagine what it'll feel like to look back.
By the end of the year, you'll have this incredible journal filled with your favorite verses and your own personal reflections. You'll be able to look back and see real, tangible proof of how you've grown. And more than anything, you'll have this deep satisfaction of knowing you spent an entire year walking daily through God's Word. Now that is a reward that truly lasts.
So, we've laid out the map, we've given you a simple method to get started, the path is clear. The only real question left is, what will your journey look like in 2026?